I'm going to share how I just went through that shelf up there and sorted through books and decided which ones to keep and which ones to get rid of. I'm Andrew from 510 Books. I'm actually in my second location, which is all books except for I've put in some DVDs and Blu-rays, but basically 99% books. And it is July 9th, 2024. It is Tuesday. So I finished off this shelf here, and then I have that shelf up there still to go to be done with this bookcase in terms of basically getting rid of the books that I don't feel are going to sell or that make sense in our store, and don't have a history of selling either on Amazon or eBay. And I'm also pulling some aside like I did here to be listed for sale on eBay. I occasionally will find ones to sell on Amazon, but usually it's for eBay. And I've already done that with all of these. These are autobiography and biographies. I've cleared off those two bottom shelves. And then I went through all of this entire bookcase, and I'm almost done with this one. And then these are all new books that have been added. Actually, not all of the political books are. I'll go through those. But aside from that, everything else has been added, and all of this has been added. I think so. There might be, see, this is the thing. There might be a few down there that aren't. But little by little, little by little, I'm tackling this giant project and typically try to get through a shelf every time I sit down to do it. Sometimes I'll do 2 shelves depending on the amount of time I have. Tomorrow I don't have time to do it, but we're open every Saturday here. So I'm just slowly going through it, and it's amazing what I find that is been sitting on the shelf the entire time we've been open, and who knows how long in the store. So the first thing I do is I'll see if a book has a barcode and or a ISBN number, and then I will, or an ISBN, and then I will look it up with Scoutly to see on Amazon if it does have that, if it does have a barcode or an ISBN, to see how often it's been selling, how many copies there are, what it's going for, that kind of thing, so I can get a general idea of if it's something that is currently being purchased. And a lot of times I'll see 0. Sometimes I'll see a good amount of sales. Like the ones that I kept up here, all showed either, and then I'll also go to eBay if I don't, for more information, or if it doesn't have a barcode or doesn't have an ISBN, I'll go to eBay, look it up, see how many copies are available, what they're going for, have they sold within the last 90 days, just to get a general sort of, just a general idea of the marketplace for that particular book. Thankfully for the apps, I can do that, and I can access lots of information. And then, based on the information, I will decide whether to keep it. Also, though, I decide, well, is this something I really want in the store? Even though it's not selling that often, maybe it's a topic that some people might be interested in, or I can create a, what do you call it? Enough of books from that niche to build a little collection going forward, that kind of thing too. So I decided to keep all of these up here, and I'm displaying them for now. Typically in a bookstore, when people walk in, the books that are facing cover first are the ones that people are going to be attracted to versus just the spines. All of these books here are less likely to sell than a book that is in one of these shelves. Now, of course, just because it's front facing, cover facing, doesn't mean that someone's going to buy it, but it has a better chance. So it's a good idea to take some that have just been sitting there spine out, and then show the cover and see if it sells, try that out, that kind of thing. So it's just, visually works really well. But there's always lots of people that would rather browse, and they'll go through and they'll look at the spines and they'll pull them out and go to the actual section they're interested in, and then find what they're looking for. Or, just something that stands out to them in the section or niche that they're looking in. So I decided to keep those, and then I decided I'm going to not keep these based on information, or all the information I got from Amazon and eBay. These are all ones that are going to go, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, I mean, I'm the book culler, right? So, got a lot of stuff on Bernard Shaw already. A lot of this stuff is just outdated. I thought Howard Zinn would be selling, but there's only 2 sales in the last, year or so on Amazon. And then when it came to the books that I'm actually going to keep to sell on eBay, all of these are going on eBay. Some of them show, this is generally how I go about it. Some of them show sales, and some of them don't. And you might say, well, why would you sell a book or list a book that has no sales in the last 90 days? Well, it has to do with the topic. It has to do with how many other copies are going for sale, what their amount of money they're going for. Like this one, the Lennon Anthology, is hardcover, but I only found actually 2 hardcovers on eBay currently going for 75 bucks, free shipping. But in the last 90 days, 3 paperback editions have sold of this book for like 20, 25 bucks. So I'm going to list mine much less than the hardcovers are going for, taking offers, promoting it at 5%, and see what happens. I feel pretty confident it'll sell. Again, it's a long tail. These are mostly long tails. Actually, they're all long tails, and that's fine. Again, if you don't like long tail items, books, and in media, there's going to be a lot of long tails, but there's typically more money in that. And the more long tails you list, the more of them you sell on a weekly and monthly basis. If you only have 10 long tails, you're not going to sell any. I mean, unless you just pick the right ones. It's going to take a while. But if you have 100 long tails, you're probably going to be selling multiple long tails a month, if not getting to the point of selling 1 or 2 a week. But if you have hundreds of long tails, like I sell long tails every single week, multiple long tails, because I have listed so many and I've gotten better at figuring out what sells. This one here, 4 or 5 copies have sold in the last 90 days. Not this particular cover, but there's a similar cover paperback from 1965 that sold. However, this one's from 1959. It's not a first edition, but it's from 1959. I believe the first edition was 49. But it's a vintage paperback, and so I feel confident that it can sell. It's not going to sell for very much, $14.99, taking offers. But I would rather post it or list it on eBay. It doesn't take much time. Doesn't take that much space to store, and sell it eventually. Otherwise, I mean, I could just toss it in the in the trash as well. That's always an option. This one is a bit of, risky in the sense of it hasn't sold, but there's only a few copies, and they're going for a little bit more money. So we'll see. These 2 are signed. Andrew Young and Easy Bird and the Civil Rights Movement and the Transformation of America. This is signed. I'm getting hot. Hold on. This one is signed and inscribed by Andrew Young. There are, I don't remember the exact amount, but a decent amount of hardcover signed copies of his. So I priced mine a little bit lower, promoting it at 5%, taking offers. We'll see. We'll see when it sells. I think it's going to be a long tail. This is the best one I found, though. I Testify, My Years as an FBI Undercover Agent by Julia Brown. This is from, I think, 60s, and she signed it. Oops, hold on. I can't read. It says to somebody, I'm not sure, but signed it in 1967. Pretty cool. She was an undercover FBI agent, black lady. And this one I'm listing for $99.99 plus shipping. 3 copies have sold in the last 90 days, but none of them were signed. And currently there's 1 other signed copy going for $120 plus shipping, taking offers on eBay. So I'm going to go lower than that, get closer to the lowest one. So the lowest copy or price right now for this book unsigned is 85 bucks, free shipping. But mine is signed, so I feel confident that it'll sell. Again, this could be a long tail, but I think I'll get some good money for it. Those are some of the thoughts, my thought process when I'm looking at books. Again, not everybody is interested in doing long tail items, but typically they tend to have more money, bring more money than, just basically if you're going to do long tail books or any media, make sure that you have a threshold, right? Typically I try to set it at 30 plus, and that usually works well. So I found some good ones, especially like that that signed copy there of I Testify. And that was just sitting on the shelf. No one was going to walk in and buy it. I don't remember how much they had it priced, but it makes more sense to put it on eBay and have a bigger audience than having it here, because chances are slim someone will walk in and be willing to pay for it. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you learned something. Ask questions. I'll see you next video. Take care.